Uganda yo baba simanyi oba ekyali nsi sawa kituuka nga toyagala kwogera naye n'okakibwa.
You wait and see how dangerous hospitals are going to become now. Just wait and see.
Katondest.
What has been underground selling of organs and has been happening under the table has now been brought out and now has been made official through a law, and it is governed by law. But now the law that governs it, everything is conducted by the president. So he's going to be the one in charge through the Minister of Health. Now the Minister of Health comes up with a council for the organ trade, which is appointed by the Minister of Health, which means indirectly appointed by the president. And then these are the ones who determine all organ trade and everything to do with the whole trade of organs. And it's considering that there's already been organ trade and has been very illegal and very illicit, and people have been going to hospitals, especially Mulagwa and Chirudu, people who had accident victims and who had very good organs, and they died mysteriously because people wanted to harvest their organs. That has been happening without a law. Now that is going to be put in a law, and now it will be very difficult for people to go to hospitals and feel safe, especially if you're young and healthy with a functioning kidney, a functioning heart, a functioning pancreas. By the way, some of the things which you can donate include a penis. So if you are gifted by nature, you can go and donate your thing to a Chinese man. It's there, by the way. It talks about all the organs, and it includes penile, which is a penis, and the uterus also. One of the things which I found interesting here is subsection 18 of the law, and it says that's the council of the organ donation. It says a member of the council or of the committee of the council is not personally liable for any act or omission done or omitted to be done in good faith in the exercise of functions. In other words, if somebody who is in charge of the organs does something which is not good and claims they did it in good faith, you cannot hold them personally liable. Now, what this does is this. We know that this government has spent all their years trying to make people poor. But now, having made people poor, and we've showed you that in many places, now what they are doing is they are commercializing poverty. Because you wait and see, because they are going to create a list of people who want organs, and the list is going to be put out there. And then imagine there is a rich person who wants a heart, and there is a poor person who went to hospital because he broke his leg on a border, but his heart is good, or his kidneys. And then do you know what the law says? That the doctor is required by law to do the best to save your life. But in case he doesn't save your life, yeah, then we can take your heart and your kidney. Now imagine the ethical dilemma that is going to present for doctors, where you're trying to save a very poor person who got a simple accident from death, but there's somebody willing to pay 250 million shillings for his kidney, and you are the doctor, and maybe you are going to get a good cut of that, and you've been notified, and even the person, as soon as the person came to hospital, now they are only using Mulago, by the way. Mulago is the only hospital they are using for organ transplant for now, but every hospital has the ability to apply, and they can be co-opted into the organ trade. Every hospital, including private ones, they only have to apply, fill out, meet a few conditions, and they also become a part of it. So I'm trying to tell you that somebody comes to a hospital with a small something that does not affect his organs. He's not sick of an organ disease. Maybe he has an injury or something like that. And the doctor first gets his blood group, tests his whatever compatibility and what, then knows somewhere there is somebody called Odaka who needs a kidney, and he has 300 million which is willing to pay. And then there is this poor man from the village who is coming here, and the doctor looks at you and says, but why don't you just die? We have money to make. And that's the ethical dilemma now, where you're totally dependent on the good graces of the doctor. Now, of course, they put things there of you have to go through consent, your relatives have to consent and what, but all those are things which can be done away with, because the council actually has a lot of power over all of this. Now, the ethical dilemma it's going to create, because across the world, do you know that 8 million people across the world are being trafficked for organ trade, especially children, taken young, fed, they get to a certain age of adolescence or what, and they just start harvesting their organs because they were actually brought for that. So it's a very big trade. And now in rich countries, let's say at every one time, let's say in America, at every single time, there's a minimum of 100,000 people who are waiting for an organ, and some of them are willing to pay as much as $200,000 for an organ. And somewhere in Uganda, there is a boda rider who has a very good heart, a very good kidney, a very good liver, because he has not been wasting his life. He has been, he's healthy, but he's just a boda. I'm giving an example. And then the doctor knows that if this person dies, we can get these organs and sell them at 200,000 each. Now tell me, and now officially, previously it was done in Nkukutu under the table, but now it's going to be done officially and openly. And we know that there are some members of the royal family who are involved in it. Now it's going to be official, and it's going to be a big problem. But you see, people will start running away from hospitals if you're healthy, because they will kill you for your kidney. And then they say those who are brain dead. As soon as you're brain dead means, you know, you're basically on the way to dying, but you're not yet dead. You still have a pulse, but more or less you're in a, you know, cabbage state and what. That's when they start harvesting organs. And now they can determine, yeah, this one is brain dead. He has no chance of living. And they are the ones who decide you have no chance of living. So, kind of, you know, they start harvesting organs. And it is going to become a big problem. Let me tell you something. Our economy has grown to a halt. There is nothing we're exporting as a country. But one of the biggest trades in the world right now is the trade in organs. And Uganda has a good number of poor people, which is the only thing that is necessary for you to become a big organ trader. Just have enough poor people who are healthy, which we have. Initially, the commercialization of poverty was exporting labor to Middle East. And you thought that was bad. That's not bad. You wait and see what is going. Now that this has become a law. But because we are all in the homosexuality thing, all these laws passed quietly.
Omusajja asooka kyankalanya byanjigiriza n'amanya nti tagenda beera n'abantu bayivu nnyo. Tegeeza teri ajja mukubisa mateeka. Political education yabulawo. Amaze okakasa ekyo n'akakasa nti tewali ajja mulwanyisa. Mukyaka n'amugyawo. Abayivu batono basobola okulwana nabo batono. Ogerako nga mungamba teweeyingiza mu bintu ebyo. Naye nga abantu bali bubi. Abantu baffe enkya n'eggulo mu malwaliro. Gwe n'ofuna ekyokulya naye waliwo abaffe enjala. Gendako mambuka eyo. Kyenkugambe nti tekyasobola kuyambibwa kati. Kale twabagane mu vidiyo enaddako bye.